All right, everybody, welcome back. Sports Bash Live, 97.3 ESPN. Now, as a young man, I went to college in West Virginia, and my early stages there, I would turn on the radio, and I would hear this song on repeat, and it kind of went, here we go, Steelers, here we go, Pittsburgh's going to the Super Bowl. And then they just went on through all the players on that team. One of them is with me now, Jerome Bettis, as he joins me on the Sports Bash on 97.3 ESPN. Jerome, do you remember that rendition?
I do.
Crazy times, man.
It was a great time.
It was. That was my introduction to West Virginia, Western Pennsylvania. You had just gotten there. Man, those were some crazy times in terms of being a Pittsburgh Steeler. Let me ask you, one of your former teams is in the playoffs. Does anybody recognize you as a Ram still, or are you just totally a Steeler to most people?
Yeah, to most people, a Steeler. Having played 10 years in one place, most people recognize me, and most people don't even remember that I actually played for the Rams. So that's one of those when people say, "Oh man, I didn't remember that."
I do want to talk about something that is very important to people. You're here with Airserve and discussing the indoor air quality. It's something that bothers me. I had to get my, I had to go get my allergies all checked out, and it was because I had allergies to air pollution and indoor air quality, and it's something that has been affecting your life.
It has. At the age of 14, I was diagnosed with asthma, and at that point, I thought, my athletic career was over, but my mom and dad, they were diligent, and they said that, hey, as long as you manage your asthma, then you'll be fine. And part of me managing the asthma was managing the air quality in our home, and there were some things that we couldn't do anymore. My mom and sister couldn't wear perfume in the house. That was an issue. We couldn't have pets like some of our friends, had in the neighborhood. And so we were very conscious of that, and we needed to make sure that we paid attention to everything, much like we all need to pay attention today. We do. And I think a lot of people don't understand that the air quality in your home can lead to, illness, people, headaches and allergies. And people don't understand that, if you can do some small things, you can change and help the air quality in your home, like just changing the air filters quarterly, using real plants as opposed to fake plants, and that'll help purify the air. And things like that you can do. But the number one thing that you can do is reach out to the professionals at Airserve, a neighborly company. They can come in and test the air quality in your home and give you the solutions if there's issues there.
Yeah, and if you're having headaches, fatigue, respiratory issues, it might be air quality in your home. I had that issue. Jerome Bettis has had that issue. Airserve, give them a check out. And by the way, Jerome, how's going back to school?
Oh, man, it is a challenge, to say the least. It's fulfilling, but I wasn't prepared for the technology gap that I have in terms of, I came to school, back in the early 90s, and no one had personal computers. You would have to go to the bookstore to buy your books. Now everything is online, and you're reading, on the computer. It's just so different than what I remember. And so that's a big change for me.
By the way, of course, if you aren't familiar, Jerome Bettis, 93, first-round pick, Notre Dame. He's a Hall of Famer, two-time first-team All-Pro, six-time Pro Bowler. He's the 8th all-time rushing leader in NFL history. So, Jerome, what does Jerome Bettis look like in today's game?
Oh, my goodness. I tell you, when you look at, what King Henry is able to do in Tennessee, I like to think that would be the style, because that's a throwback style, and people look at it now as the outlier, and they say, wow, Tennessee, they can run the football, but nobody else does that. And well, actually, that's what everybody did. and that was the style that we had. Much different runners, but that was the style in terms of pounding, play action, and throw the football that way.
Yeah, and it seems that, at your time, they would hand you the ball 25, 30 times. It's hard, other than Henry, to find guys that get that volume. It's hard to get in a rhythm. It seems that teams go with 2 and sometimes 3 different style of backs.
Well, part of that is because the college game has changed. And when you look at the college game, what universities run the type of offense that produces that type of running back. And there's only, 4 schools, really. When you look at Alabama, you look at Georgia, then you look at USC, and then you look at Wisconsin. No, I mean, outside of those schools, you're not going to get, those type of running backs. And so that's the problem. When you don't have them in college, then you can't draft them in the NFL. And so that's the problem. When you do find them, you draft them. You look at the Steelers, Najee Harris. You saw he came in and just changed the way that the Steelers looked at running the football. Yep. And so those are some of the things that you have to think about when you look at those running backs.
Jerome, one of our friends of the show, Barrett Brooks, tells us stories all the time about your last year in Pittsburgh and what it meant to you getting to Detroit. Just kind of bring us back to that last year in Pittsburgh. Get me home, the big win you guys had against Denver. And just like looking back about how surreal that whole situation was, that you get that Super Bowl in your hometown.
It was, because you have to remember, a year prior to that, I had retired. I was walking away from the game. My teammates convinced me to come back and play for one more year. And that year, we were able to win a championship. So, had I decided to stick with me retiring, that would have never happened. So there's so many events that kind of transpired to get me to that point, to come back for one more year, to go in and play in Indianapolis. I fumbled the football. Ben makes an incredible play to tackle the guy. We win the game. We go on to Denver. We win that game. Come to Detroit. Play a Seattle team that was, 5 times better than us, that everybody thought, and we still found a way to win that game. So it was an amazing run and a storybook ending.
Ben obviously hung him up yesterday. You just talked about the play he made. That was 2005. He was a second-year player. Are you surprised that he made it this long? And how about him calling it quits yesterday?
Not surprised that he made it this long. Incredible football player. So I'm proud to have been able to say I played with him for only 2 years of the 18, but 2 magical years. We won a championship the one year, and in the first year he was 15-1. I think, which is still a record for rookie quarterbacks. So we had 2 amazing years, but his career has been amazing, and he's going to be sorely missed, because when you lose a legend, a Hall of Fame quality, quarterback, they don't grow on trees.
Nope.
And so the organization, they're going to be in big trouble trying to find a replacement for Ben Roethlisberger.
We'll leave you with this. Jerome Bettis is with us with Airserve, and of course the importance of the quarterback. You had Ben in the end. He was there all the time. You just talked about what they're up against. You see what happened in New Orleans. Sean Payton said, "I'm not going through this. I'm out." How important, you're a running back in today's game, how important is it to have the guy?
It's critically important. I mean, when you talk about, and that's what we're here talking about. We're talking about air quality, right? The passing game. You got to have it. Yeah. If you don't have it, you're in big trouble. And so you can't win games. You can't breathe properly. It all ties in because you've got to find a way to get it done.
Well done.
And Airserve.com if you if you need to have them come help you out. And in terms of Steelers, I don't know where they can go to find the quarterback that they're going to need. I guess they're going to have to go through the draft, but not as simple as reaching out to Airserve.
It is a long journey to find that quarterback. Airserve, Hall of Fame and Super Bowl winning running back Jerome Bettis. Make sure if you're having that indoor air quality problems, air pollution, make a quick call. You don't want the headaches. You don't want the fatigue, respiratory issues. If Jerome Bettis can do it, you guys out there can do it too. Jerome, we appreciate you spending a couple minutes with us today.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
That is Jerome Bettis, the Hall of Famer and Super Bowl winning running back here on the Sports Bash.